As the community gathered to talk about gang violence in Lynchburg, just a few miles up the road, a woman was shot. We'll have the latest. And Virginia now has its first human death from the West Nile virus. 13 News Midday is next.
Food makes life more satisfying. Weight Watchers understands that. Our winning points plan means you don't have to put life on a diet. You can eat any food you like, stay satisfied, and still lose weight.
Now, win a $25,000 kitchen makeover. Enter Weight Watchers Looking Good, Cooking Good sweepstakes. Join now while registration's free. Call 1-800-651-6000.
Going to school traditional manner for quite some time, taking 1 to 2 classes every semester and getting the education in half the time of what it would take me in a conventional program has just made all the difference in the world for me. I have already gotten 2 promotions and have never looked back, and I've loved every second of it.
Call Averett University now and we'll waive the application fee. Hurry, classes are already forming.
This is ABC 13 News with Patty Martin and Dave Cochran. Award-winning coverage in the heart of Virginia.
Good afternoon. This is 13 News Midday. I'm Patty Martin.
I'm Dave Cochran. Thanks for joining us today.
Topping our news this noon, Lynchburg police are looking for the person they say shot a 20-year-old woman. 21-year-old Mario Scott is facing malicious wounding and firearms charges. Police were called to the 1000 block of Pierce Street at around 8:30 last night. When they arrived, they found Antoinette Watkins with a gunshot wound to the arm. Witnesses said the shots were fired across the street from where Watkins was standing. She has been treated and released. If you have any information on where Scott might be, you can call the Lynchburg Police Department. Ironically, at the same time that police were called to the shooting on Pierce Street, community leaders were meeting with area folks to talk about the recent violence that's been plaguing Lynchburg. Hundreds turned out last night to talk about gangs and crime. Rob Harrington was there and brings us more.
These are our children. They belong to us.
Hundreds of neighbors in the Hill City came out to say that they've had enough.
Anytime at night, you'll see a bunch of punks walking down the street or up the street, looking in your cars, looking at your house.
Yeah, we do have a problem in the city, and I think everybody's blind about it.
But evidently, a lot of people have opened their eyes and realized that the gang problem isn't going away anytime soon. After a message from city leaders,
I'm on the other side of the street saying it's not okay.
Folks got together in groups to discuss ways of taking back their streets. One person who had a vested interest in the meeting was the Reverend Anthony Howard.
Matter of fact, I am an old-time gang leader. So I'm from that street life. I come from that mentality. This right here is nothing.
Howard says although there have been a number of shootings across the Hill City, things are blown out of proportion.
If you had true Crips and true Bloods here, folks would be laid up every night. Gunfire been gone throughout the city all night long.
It hasn't exactly reached that level, but neighbors are clearly concerned nonetheless.
Me and my brother came walking through the Parkville getting teased and taunted by these gangbangers.
Some blame city leaders and their delay in facing the problem.
The mayor needs to know what's going on in his city. When you got too much on your plate, on your agenda, then you seem to lose focus.
But Howard wants to make one thing crystal clear. A gang's life is not all it's cracked up to be.
As a young person, you need to get away from those type of activities because your life will soon be snatched out. A bullet has no name on it.
Rob Harrington, ABC 13 News.
And last night's forum was hosted by city leaders, law enforcement, and clergy members.
2 Roanoke mothers have been charged with felonies for leaving their children home alone. Officials say the first case involves a 45-year-old mom who left her 4 children home for a week while she went out of state. The children, ages 6, 7, 13, and 15, were taken into custody by the Child Protective Services. In a separate case, a neighbor tipped police off that a 21-year-old mom left her children, ages 1, 2, 3, and 7, at home by themselves. Police went by that home late one night and found the children asleep with no one home. Both moms have been charged with 4 counts of felony child neglect. Henry County investigators say the pictures we showed you last week of Jennifer Short's mom are generating new leads in the case of the missing girl. These pictures of Mary Short were taken 10 years ago when she worked at the Pluma Textile Factory in Martinsville. Officials say former co-workers are coming forward with information that could help them solve the case. So far, though, there's nothing definite.
Virginia health officials are reporting the state's first human death from the West Nile virus. A 54-year-old woman from Sterling died Sunday at the hospital where she had been since September 5th. According to the health director, the woman had diabetes, which put her at a higher risk for a severe reaction. The victim first went to the hospital with flu-like symptoms. There have been other confirmed cases of West Nile virus in northern Virginia. Fairfax County has had 2 human cases, while Falls Church City has 1.
British Prime Minister Tony Blair confirmed President Bush's claim that Saddam Hussein is a threat and should be removed from power. Reporters scrambled this morning to pick up their copy of Tony Blair's 55-page indictment of Saddam Hussein. The report says not only does Saddam have tons of biological and chemical weapons, but his army is so prepared it could launch an attack in 45 minutes. Blair also says Saddam could have nuclear weapons in a year or 2 with just a little help. Blair says Saddam Hussein must be held accountable, and he supports the White House.
On Capitol Hill today, more disturbing testimony about intelligence information received and ignored in the weeks and months preceding the September 11th attacks last year. ABC's Lisa Sylvester has more.
FBI headquarters disregarded a memo written by a Phoenix agent in July 2001 that warned terrorists might be planning an attack using airplanes. The FBI's counterterrorism unit also did not take any further investigative steps after the arrest of Zacarias Moussaoui, who raised suspicions at a flight school in Minnesota.
No one apparently saw the potential collective significance of the information, despite the increasing concerns throughout the summer of 2001 about an impending terrorist attack.
Phoenix FBI agent Kenneth Williams knew that an Osama bin Laden lieutenant had lived in the Phoenix area in the early 90s and believed he started a network there. Williams became further concerned in May 2001 when he noticed a pattern: a number of men of Arab descent enrolling in flight schools. He wrote a memo to his superiors asking them to investigate other flight schools, but his memo was shelved. But even Williams admitted after the 9/11 attacks that he never imagined that terrorists would use planes as bombs.
His primary concern was that Islamic extremists studying everything from aviation security to flying could be learning how to hijack or destroy aircraft and to evade airport security.
But there were other warnings. In August of 2001, Zacarias Moussaoui was arrested by the FBI in Minneapolis on immigration charges after a flight instructor became alarmed that he only wanted to learn to fly horizontally and didn't want to learn takeoffs and landings. Both of these red flags came the summer of 2001. At the same time, the CIA and National Security Agency had been picking up a lot of chatter warning of a big attack to come. Lisa Sylvester, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up next on Midday, there could soon be a recall at the Goodyear tire plant in Danville, but it's not for tires.
And works of 2 artwork pieces in Lynchburg courthouses are being judged. We'll have that story when we return.
Bedford Centerfest. Art, antiques, crafts. Bedford Centerfest. Games, rides, clowns, kids' activities. Bedford Centerfest. Food, and more food. Bedford Centerfest. Music all day long with recording artist Sounds of the Desert.
G.I. Joe moved to Mexico. It's not enough that I
With special guest Cimarron.
that blacktop road.
It's a day of fun in downtown Bedford, and half the proceeds go to the D-Day Memorial.
It's fantastic news for denture wearers.
Super Polygrip's new ooze control tip spreads a thin, flat ribbon for less ooze.
Less ooze is excellent news.
Super Polygrip with the new ooze control tip. Less ooze. It's big news.
The garage is my husband's turf, but the kitchen is all mine. I like everything in its place, which is why I shop Food Lion. I know it like my own kitchen. I don't have to run around like in those super centers. There's friendly people and everything we need at extra low prices. Shopping Food Lion helps me help my family. Boy, do they ever need my help.
It's a dark, dense jungle. A world with
thousands of places to hide. And today, one with nowhere to run.
Call Stanley Steamer now and ask about our $119 Super Clean Special. Call 1-800-STEAMER and get your carpet cleaner.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gives carpet cleaner.
Wear contacts? Visine for contacts does more than re-wet your lenses. It really, really refreshes your eyes. Visine for contacts gets the dry out when contacts are in.
You're watching ABC 13 News, covering the heart of Virginia, from studios in Lynchburg, Danville, Bedford, and Roanoke.
The number of people without a job in Central Virginia is going to get a little bigger this week. ABC 13 News has confirmed layoffs at Ericsson will happen Thursday and affect employees in the flow control and infrastructure supply at the Lynchburg plant. However, a spokesman for Ericsson won't say at this time just how many jobs will be lost. The last time Ericsson had layoffs was in March. That's when 35 jobs were eliminated. More layoffs could happen in December. Goodyear Tires in Danville could be about to announce some good news. A recall of former employees. Last fall, Goodyear laid off about 300 employees. Well, a company official tells ABC 13 News that they're in discussions with the local union to recall about the same number of employees for an immediate return to work. It's all because of an increase in demand for radial truck tires, and that's what started the talks. The discussions will be over at the end of the month.
A couple of Lynchburg courthouses could soon be undergoing some big changes. Recently, a number of people have complained that pieces of art hanging in the J&D and circuit courts are offensive. They say the artwork depicts racism and they don't belong in our halls of justice. Saray Chin reports from downtown.
To have cotton pickers up here who look like chimpanzees and look like some animals from the jungle, it's very offensive.
Ed Barksdale, a Lynchburg City Council member, says justice is not being served here.
How could you feel that you're going to get true justice when this is the first thing you face, that a reminder of slavery and degradation?
He's hoping in the coming days to convince the rest of City Council to remove the two pieces of artwork, a painting as you walk into juvenile and domestic court, and a brass relief as you step into circuit court.
I think that, it really is the time now. It needs to be taken down.
You can have very subtle prejudices and racism and have it not be noticed, but that's how it survives and that's how it thrives.
Some people don't see it the same way and say the cost has them concerned. The Lynchburg chapter of the Virginia Organizing Project, which organized this meeting, says it would cost about $17,000 to remove the artwork.
Pay more than that for an automobile out here, so I'm sure the city of Lynchburg can afford that, or else we're going down the drain.
Saray Chin, ABC 13 News.
And a petition with 260 signatures of people opposed to the artwork will be presented to City Council today.
Up next on Midday, when you log on to the internet, there are all kinds of scam artists waiting to get their hands on your money. Shock, huh? In our Safety Zone segment, we're going to clue you into some of the warning signs of computer fraud.
Plus, a little later in the show, find out what familiar face from Renee Zellweger's past will be a part of her newest Bridget Jones movie.
But first, we ought to talk a little bit about the weather. I'm going to go a little long on the weather today because Isidore is starting to get nasty again.
You came upstairs and said there were some changes.
Changes to tell you about. Storms kind of heading in our general direction. I'll show you the maps in just a minute.
Now is the time to start your home improvements. Home equity loans and lines of credit are a great way. From bill consolidation to a new car, choose Central Virginia Federal Credit Union today for the best home equity rates in town. Make the move to a new kind of credit union. Central Virginia Federal Credit Union, the one you can join.
ABC 13 invites you to enjoy Kaleidoscope, Central Virginia's biggest celebration of the year. Cheer on the runners in the Virginia 10-miler. Watch the marching band competition at the Lynchburg Band Classic. Participate in the Central Virginia Alzheimer's Association Memory Walk. From classical to gospel, from show tunes to boogie, you'll enjoy the world's longest recital. It's all a part of Kaleidoscope, the party so big you can't see it all. For complete details and schedule information, go to WSET.com.
ECPI's Career Services Department is dedicated to helping you find a job after you graduate. How dedicated?
Just ask our graduates.
Career Services was great. They worked very hard for me.
I had 3 offers.
They're always there. They're always willing to help.
They guide you.
When you go in an interview, you feel confident.
I've gotten 6 job offers.
My career advisor worked very hard for me.
I got 3 job offers.
Start your career in technology today.
1-866-219-1777. Let us put you behind the wheel of your new car for as low as 5.75% APR. Check out the advantages of great terms, pre-approval, refinancing, and extended warranty plans. Make the move to a new kind of credit union, Central Virginia Federal Credit Union, the one you can join. Discover the dining difference in Lynchburg's best value seafood restaurant.
At Harbor Inn Seafood.
Your choice, grilled, fried, or broiled.
At Harbor Inn Seafood.
Tuesday night, only at Harbor Inn Seafood, enjoy our fried captain's platter for 2, only $10.99. Or call ahead for takeout services. Discover Harbor Inn Seafood and you'll be hooked for life. Old Forest Road, Lynchburg.
First Watch Weather is brought to you by Harbor Inn Seafood.
Back on Midday, the National Hurricane Center has changed the forecast track and how nasty Tropical Storm Isidore could get. Isidore was busted down to a tropical storm, but forecasters are already saying this storm could redevelop into what could be a Category 2 hurricane. Here's the latest picture of Isidore. You can see right now that this big old storm is already starting to shoot some clouds in our general direction, and also there's a little bit of rain along the Gulf Coast. Here's the latest on Tropical Storm Isidore. This is the 10 a.m. reading from the National Hurricane Center, putting it 485 miles south of the Louisiana coast. It has winds of 60 miles an hour at this point in time, and it is moving to the north-northwest at right around 8 miles an hour. And here is what we call the forecast track. This is from the National Hurricane Center, and you can see by 1 a.m. Friday, the storm is expected to be, well, starting in our general direction right now. It's here in the Gulf area, and I'll tell you what, they're going to keep a close eye. We originally thought it was going to lose a lot of its punch and start hitting parts of Texas. Right now, though, it looks like the folks in Louisiana need to start battening down the hatches. We will keep you up to date. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if this storm does come our way, hurricanes lose a lot of their punch when they move over land. And Isidore has a lot of land to cover before it gets here. So we keep you up to date on Isidore. Right now, though, we're going to look for some sun in our forecast. And here's the First Watch Almanac page. The average high temperature, 76 degrees. So far, the warmest temperature we've seen today is 68. Made it down to about 51 degrees this morning. Sunset tonight right around 7:11. And we'll do a quick check of the current temperatures in the Lynchburg area at this hour. 68 degrees, 70 in Danville, 66 in Roanoke, 49% humidity. Humidity is a little on the low side right now because we had a cold front go through the area, but look at that. Yeah, moisture off of Tropical Storm Isidore. Bet you it's a hurricane by maybe this time tomorrow once it clears the Yucatan Peninsula. So we watch Futurecast over the next 48 hours. Watch as some moisture starts to track north. That's Futurecast showing that storm moving into in our general direction. We're going to keep you up to date on this storm, but I'm not going to worry too much at this point because, again, got a lot of land to cover before it gets to us. 77 for the daytime high in Lynchburg tonight, 50 for the low. Partly sunny today, partly cloudy tonight. Bedford's high 77, overnight low down to 52. Partly sunny today, partly cloudy tonight in Bedford. Same deal on the south side. Partly cloudy skies is what we are looking at up and down the dial. 79 the high, overnight low down to about 54 degrees. We did have a little bit of fog on the south. Well, everybody saw a little bit of fog in some areas this morning. 79 for the high in Roanoke, overnight low down to 54. Here comes a look at the 5-day forecast for tomorrow. We'll call for partly sunny skies. There's a 20 to 30% chance we'll see a little bit of rain on Wednesday. A 40 to 50% chance we see some rain on Thursday and Friday with mostly cloudy skies. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And also the big storm called Isidore. Right now, though, keeping us safe. Here's Patty in the safety zone.
All right, thank you, Dave. Well, over the past year, Americans have been extremely generous, donating to the various funds set up to help the victims of 9/11. And while many of these funds are legitimate, there are more out there that have been set up just to rip you off. And joining us now to talk about internet fraud is Spencer Wilcox from the Lynchburg Police Department. Thanks for coming in today. This certainly is timely. How big a problem is this? I'm certainly noticing a lot of solicitations in my email. Is this just exploding?
It is. One of the problems that we've been seeing is a rise in the number of scam artists that are trying to use the internet to get your money. specifically in the area of charities fraud.
And 9/11 obviously is one that a lot of people are still wanting to donate to. And there are some out there that are obviously legitimate, but what do I look for in my email when I see something I think, well, that sounds good, that's going to go to, the children, a scholarship fund? What do I need to be on the lookout for?
Just remember that most legitimate charities are not going to use bulk email or spam to get to your money. What they might do is set up a website and let you know about it. Also, be very careful of organizations that appear to have the same name or a very similar name to real charities. The American Cancer Society versus the Society for Cancer in America or something of that nature. Also, be on the lookout for police and fire related charities. Most of them are not going to send out an email to try and do this. They might do direct marketing and so forth, but they're not going to try and do it through the internet.
And you said there are a couple of ways people can check out. If they get one they think may be legitimate, they're not sure, they can contact some people to find out.
They can. In Virginia, all charities have to register through the State Corporation Commission, and you can also check with the Better Business Bureau or the National Better Business Bureau for more information on a specific charity.
And that's a pretty easy call, I would imagine. And then you were talking to me a little earlier this morning about one specific charity that is not necessarily a 9/11, but we have a few seconds to tell people what that is to be on the lookout for that.
I've been getting a lot of phone calls lately about a thing called the Nigerian advanced fee fraud scams. And what it is somebody claiming to be with a foreign government will ask you for an account number, specifically a checking account number. They'll say, we've got a couple of $100,000 that's sitting here, it's been frozen by whatever country that they're in. Don't give them your checking account number, and don't worry too awfully much about it. It's not terrorist related. This has been one of the biggest concerns.
Just obviously trying to get your account and get your money. And quickly, we need to wrap it up, but you have there's a website that people can go to, and I think we have a full screen of this coming up. Okay, well, I guess we don't. Do you have?
It's the Internet Fraud Complaint Center at ifccfbi.gov.
Okay, ifccfbi.gov.
That's right, and that's it's a joint cooperative effort between the FBI and the National White Collar Crime Center.
Okay, well, we thank you very much for some good information.
Well, thank you much.
All right, and Dave?
Sports is next. Virginia Tech Hokies bag of mixed emotions. They're celebrating good news this week, but they're also feeling a little uneasy about this weekend's lineup. And the Cavaliers preparing to really get down to business. We'll be back.
Nothing slows me down, including my diabetes. So I need a diabetes supply company that respects my time. That's why I chose Simplex Medical. They work harder, they listen, and they truly care about my health.
We deliver your diabetes supplies. Medicare covers the cost, and we take care of all the paperwork. Plus, there's no money up front.
Call Simplex Medical, toll-free.
For testing supplies covered by Medicare, call 1-888-919-2525.
With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
Now for moms in a hurry. Smucker's introduces new Uncrustables PB&J sandwiches. Smucker's starts with delicious peanut butter and jelly, takes off the crusts, and seals in all the goodness of homemade. Uncrustables go from freezer to lunchbox for a soft, taste like fresh-made Smucker's PB&J at school. Try new Smucker's Uncrustables. They're in the freezer aisle. With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
You know the feeling. Someone starts to tell a joke and you panic. What if you start laughing? Lots of us experience slight loss of bladder control, sometimes just when laughing or sneezing. But I discovered Poise panty liners designed especially for slight loss of bladder control. They're thin and discreet like ordinary panty liners, but with a super absorbent blue center to keep you drier. Poise panty liners. Freedom to be yourself.
Look for Poise panty liners with other Poise products.
We all make sacrifices in life, like giving up chocolate bonbons for this, or this, or a night at the opera. But with your local electric cooperative, you give up nothing. Our systems and technology are second to none, and our service is just as impressive. So with your local co-op, you really can have it all. Life's other sacrifices, however, will continue. The member-owned electric cooperatives of Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Proven power.
In support of the hearing-impaired community, Audiology Hearing Aid Associates and The Floor Show underwrite closed captioning for all 13 News local programming.
There's good news and bad news for Virginia Tech football this week. Good news, safety Willie Pyle has been honored as the Big East Defensive Player of the Week. The senior had 10 tackles, an interception, a fumble recovery. Bad news, quarterback Brian Randall, along with linebacker Mikhail Baki, could miss up to 3 days of practice this week. Randall had a grade 1 foot sprain. Baki had an ankle sprain. Both will wear protective boots the next 3 days, but they're both expected to play Saturday at Western Michigan.
After evening its record at 2 with Saturday's win over Akron, now Virginia begins the big part of its ACC schedule. 7 of the Cavaliers' next 8 games, including the next 5, are conference matchups, beginning with Saturday's meeting at Wake Forest. The Deacons are also 2-2. Virginia's Matt Schaub threw for 5 touchdowns against Akron, giving him 12 on the season, tied for second highest in the nation.
We'll be right back. Hope you can stay with us.
Victims of tragic freak accidents.
A tree had fallen on my husband.
Shelley thought it was just a pile of leaves in her driveway.
My son jumps up out of the leaves and says, "Mom, you just ran over my head."
Sherry believed her 7-year-old would be safe playing baseball.
And the next minute, he's gone.
A stray bullet, possibly from miles away, found 2-year-old Dylan.
I found him lying there in a pool of blood.
How do you go on?
Strong topics, strong host, strong reasons to turn on Montel.
Today at 4 on ABC 13.
Hey, Jeff. Bobby, want to race for a Coke?
You're on.
Oh, yeah.
Ready? Go!
Not again.
Uh-huh.
Here you go, Dad.
Thank you.
Want to race?
Oh, yeah. And now from the Coca-Cola Racing family to your family, the new Coca-Cola NASCAR Fridge Pack. Each package features the car and autograph of a Coca-Cola Racing family driver, 7 in all.
Hi, grape nuts, please.
You know, it'd take 4 bowls of grape nuts to equal the B vitamins in just 1 bowl of total.
4 bowls. Dig in, Lumpy.
Special K, please.
That'd take 16 bowls to equal the zinc in total.
16 bowls. Eat up, sweetie.
Shredded wheat?
40 bowls to equal the calcium in total.
40 bowls. Chow down, big boy.
You need Total. It's got a 100% daily value of 12 vitamins and minerals. No other cereal comes close.
Total, please.
Total for me.
We're out of bowls.
Total Raisin Bran. What are you getting for breakfast?
When time is short and a life is on the line, Campbell County Fire and Rescue Squads are there to protect you. New volunteers are needed now. We will train you, but you have to want it. If you think you're good, try keeping up with us. Campbell County Emergency Services.
If you're a fan of the movies, you probably have a favorite, and so does the latest movie guide. More on which film was judged best ever. And actor Nick Nolte has started on a project of a very different kind. For those stories and the rest of the news from Hollywood, here's Carla Wool with the Showbiz Wrap.
What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully?
The Godfather is listed as the best movie of all time in Zagat's new movie guide.
He's looking at you, kid.
Casablanca comes in second on the list, followed by Star Wars.
Resolution number 1. We'll find nice, sensible boyfriend to go.
In the new Bridget Jones movie, Renee Zellweger, who plays the journalist, falls head over heels for a handsome actor who she's assigned to interview. That actor will be played by none other than Zellweger's old boyfriend, George Clooney. Angelina Jolie has been working out for her role as Lara Croft in the sequel to Tomb Raider. In fact, the actress is so buff that her stunt double is a man. He reportedly was the only one fit enough to look like her. A source on the set says fake body parts were added for certain shots. Actor Nick Nolte has checked himself into a Connecticut rehab center. He was arrested earlier this month for driving under the influence. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Carla Wool, ABC News.
Do you remember that full screen that you were talking about?
We have just enough time, I think, to put up the full screen, a website where you can find out about scams, various scams. There it is, www.ifccfbi.gov. We'll leave it up there for a second because that's a lot to remember, and I can't even remember what that all stands for, but you'll get all the information you need to know right there.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Midday.
We'll see you tomorrow.